Just mixing up some Miracle Grow that I'll be using on some of my plants here. Here's some of the younger ones that I have. This little guy came from a seed. I planted him and he's doing quite well. Nice little tomato plant. When you plant a seed, you have a special connection with it and you want it to do well. You want to protect it too. A late frost in just a minute can just burn it down to the ground. But you can buy these at yard sales for $1, or even if you pay the $1 at Dollar General for them or Dollar Tree, they're still worth it because they'll last for decades. I said decades. And on a cold night, the local radio station will say you have frost warnings. Come out, set these over the plants, and they'll be alive the next morning. And you can either easily store these for the next night, and then through the rest of the season you can put them someplace so they'll be ready for next year and will again last for decades, protecting your plants. An insurance policy, if you will. Another insurance policy I have is when they're small. I have things like this that I pick up at yard sales, just a screen. You can set that over it if you again get a notice from the radio saying possible hail or a bad weather, and especially hail. It takes very little hail to destroy a plant. And so we utilize those. As they get bigger, we have all sorts of screens with the 1/4-inch hail screen on them. That will protect that plant astronomically well and keep it growing. When they get a little bigger, get it a little bit bigger, you can go to these. They set in there just as well. Put a rock on it to hold it down from the high wind that usually comes with a bad storm, and your plants are protected. The idea is the better you protect your plant, the more it's going to feed you. It's going to feed you. And it'll do it for pennies. For pennies. And you don't have to ask nobody for food then. You don't have to ask for food stamps or anything else, because you can produce so much food, you'll be giving it away. You yourself will be giving food away. No matter what your wage bracket is. You can grow your own food. As your plants get bigger, they'll need to be reinforced and strengthened. These old basket type things will hold the tomatoes so they can get quite high. A lot easier to get to them, keep them off the ground. But another thing that's really good about these critters is in a hailstorm, all you have to do is take a sheet or a blanket, throw over it, tie it down, and the hail can't get to it. The hail will not destroy a full-grown tomato plant that is invaluable and just starting to produce for you. Things like this you need to do. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, but you're looking at a yard full of weeds, little baby weeds, and they will destroy your garden every chance they get. Forget about the looks of your yard. We worry only when we're on the bottom of the pay scale just how it's going to affect garden areas and try to keep them clean. Before we do any gardening, one of the best ways that I've found is a good sheet of plastic or glass. Lay it on the ground. And of course I have quite a few, but the idea is once you've laid it on the ground, it takes just a few hot days, maybe 3, 4 at the most, and whatever's underneath that is cooked. And nothing will grow there, no more weeds for the rest of that year. That's an excellent way to control weed population. Whether it's next to your home to keep the spiders and the bugs away from your home, or whether it's on your garden area. It does it without pesticides and herbicides. It simply makes your garden a safer place to garden, and it gets rid of one of your #1 enemies, weeds.